The White House planning to offer a budget proposal that includes cuts to Social Security and other entitlements. Our John Harwood reports it's a sign that a budget compromise is becoming more of a possibility. I don't know. Let's ask Eric Cantor. He is on set with us for the next half hour. Republican leader Eric Cantor, good morning. Number one, we just called it a cut, and I showed you this, that it's actually a less of an increase, so I don't know whether it's really a cut. And number two, if Jackie Combs of the New York Times in the fourth paragraph even admits that it's likely that the Republicans, it's got these big revenue, it's got taxes in it again with no lowering of marginal rates. So maybe it's not a serious proposal. Eventually the midterms come up. He said this week, I want Pelosi back in as speaker, right? And she admits right there, maybe this is more posturing to paint you guys in the obstructionist corner.
Right. Well, first of all, we're not going to see Pelosi back in as speaker. So, because I do think the American people want to see, a check and a balance in Washington. We're about to see the implementation of Obamacare right now, and we know that there are a lot of concerns about that. People who are paying premiums now struggling are going to see rate shock come into play. We've got small businesses, employees looking to see how they're going to get covered. It's going to be a real challenge, this administration. I think that we've got a lot of room for improvement on that. But as far as the budget's concerned, I am in a wait-and-see mode as to whether this White House is very serious about really coming together to solve
You think it looks like it would be, they're saying, implying it would be the same deal that the president offered Boehner last time, but there's already been the $600 billion. That's already gone through. It's going to be that deal with the 28% cap on deductions or something for the wealthy. So it's going to be the same deal, maybe, on the entitlement side, but with all new taxes, additional taxes on the other side.
Well, the funny thing is, Joe, there's a lot that the two sides agree on in Washington. And for the life of me, I can't understand why we just don't see the White House come forward and embrace the things that we agree on. Let's get them done.
Because if you can win back the House, you don't have to agree on anything, and you're going to do everything you want for the last 2 years.
And the American people don't want that.
But Eric, what are the things that you guys agree on?
Well, I mean, for instance, there is an article today in the Journal, and it talks about combining Parts A and B in Medicare. Mm-hmm. That is something that the Bold-Simpson Commission advocated. That's something that both the House and Senate, Democrats and Republicans are talking about. The White House has indicated it is okay with that. And basically what it does is it, I think, can ultimately promote efficiency. It will limit the exposure for catastrophic instances for people in their health care. It makes sense. We both agree on that. Why then go introduce the need to raise taxes the way they always do every time? So I'm in a wait-and-see mode. There are some things we can agree on.
What about immigration? Where is there agreement on that issue? Because it seems like there is more of a middle ground than there used to be.
Right, I think so. And I think that, it's all about balancing the tradition of our being a country of immigrants. I mean, I know most of us came here because our ancestors made a decision, we're lucky enough to do so, and to build a new life and create dreams here. I think you balance that with the notion that we are a country of laws, and we got to make sure that we uphold the laws and evenly apply them. There's a lot of work being done in the House and the Senate across the political aisles on this issue. I'm hopeful we can get something done. Now, there are individual pieces that are still outstanding, such as the worker permits. We've got this issue of the kids that are here. I think we should act first. If we can't do anything else, make sure that the kids who are here, unbeknownst to them, brought here, know no other place is home, we should be providing them a citizenship. And I do think that on the longer spectrum, we can work something out. I do.
Well, we never talk gay marriage, but I don't know. Why not? Let's say that you had definitive evidence that 52, 53, 54% of the country it thinks it's okay now for gay people to get married. I know a lot of gay people make great Republicans, and it kills me that these free market guys, I mean, they a litany of private sector economics I hear from them, they vote the other way because of this. Do the Republicans will they forever be behind the curve, will history judge that they waited way too long to move with what looks like the general population on that?
You know, I don't know where the Supreme Court comes down. As you know, they're discussing this DOMA.
They think maybe states, right? Maybe states should do it.
Right, and you know,
they seem a little bit scared too to be in front of things instead of concurrent or behind things.
Right, but you know, it's amazing though that this is a country of diversity. I think there are those of us who have personal religious convictions about the issue, and I think that we as a country need to respect people for their opinion, no matter which side you come down on. And I think that's what's really been lacking in all of this debate. Because you're right, there are a lot of people, Joe, that would really adhere to the kinds of things that Republicans stand for. But I think the last election showed us some of the things that we stand for somehow aren't being received in the proper way, and it's being portrayed as we don't care about people, and it couldn't be further from the truth.
What did that mean? Priebus said there's room for pro-gay marriage Republicans in the party. I don't even know what that means.
Absolutely.
Really? But then they're against. They still want to deny that.
Well, I don't think you see the other party totally unanimous on any issue. I think
but it's in their platform at this point.
Well, a lot of crazy stuff is still on both platforms.
And that this is true. I mean, but I think that we are all part of a very diverse country and appreciate the freedoms that we are given here as Americans. But part of the deal here is we got to be tolerant of other people, and I think that's really.
I mean, if we really are free, then everybody should be free.
Well, I mean, but then again, if you've got, if it's a religious issue, then you have to raise the question about what does the government have to do if you've got, sort of a religious issue of traditional marriage. But
it's when your religious beliefs actually interfere with somebody else's freedom. That becomes the question.
No one's asking you to marry another guy.
Well,
and you're looking at me like maybe we could. I mean, I've been a big admirer of you but nobody's asking them to marry. And that one Republican who said, I'm not going to marry another guy, so I'm against gay marriage. It's like, he needs to go. Get a remedial course in something, right?
But, this goes to the point that, look, this is an issue that has been divisive, right? Why can't we spend some time on things we can agree on? Right. That's how you build. That's how you grow. On the economy, my goodness, there's so much. We all know we need to grow and get more jobs. We're waiting on the jobs report. Yeah. My goodness. Why don't we just focus on things that we can agree on?
That'd be great if we could. That's the only thing I care about. Right. And I get pigeonholed as some, crazy, right wing. I mean, I'm not at all. I want the American dream to still be possible for everyone through earned success. And everyone gets lifted by prosperity.
But I think it's hard to separate the two. When you're talking about the American dream is also that all people can
that's what I'm
happiness.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Republicans ought to focus purely on economic issues at this point, because you're on the right side of that one. You're on the wrong side of a lot of this other stuff, but you're on the right side of all the economic issues.
Look at what we're doing in the House. We've got an agenda that it really is aimed at trying to make life work for more people. There's a lot of disaffected people right now. There's kids who are not getting a quality education. The future's not very bright for them. We want them to be able to create their own dreams. It's a way that all of us and our kids are going to be able to do, right? And so we do want to be about equal opportunity. We just passed a couple of weeks ago the Skills Act, right? We didn't get much support. The White House came out against it when the GAO had said, hey, we should be consolidating federal workforce programs, getting rid of all the fiefdoms that exist, and actually tailor the programs to the available jobs in the different regions of the country. Makes sense. We should do that. It helps the unemployed fill some of these unfilled positions in industries that are looking for skilled workers. Mm-hmm. These are the kinds of things we can make life work for people so they can get on about creating their dreams.
But that's people from outside of Washington hear the same things from both sides, that they want to help you with your dreams, that they want to push things through. It gets kind of complicated because they understand, people from outside may understand that there are two philosophies of how you get there, but it just seems like every act that comes forward, every proposal from every side is something that is some gotcha politics, and I'm going to give you something good so I can say I can sound like I'm selling something good head back home, but I'm also going to get this part of my agenda along the way. It seems like there are so few things that are clean without any sort of bias from one side or the other.
Well, and this is the frustration, because something like workforce training programs, right, that should be pretty easy for us. So if the White House says we don't agree with your version, then let's see what their version is, and we'll work together. We want to work together.
You guys have been guilty of putting some stuff up there that was really like, we know this isn't going to pass. We're going to give you this, and we're going to be able to say we came down on the right side of it with the American people, but we know this was never
plenty of blame to go around.
There is.
Sure.
I mean, but I think people are fed up with that aspect of Washington. Like, man, just do the stuff that you do agree on.
So here's the thing. So I listened to your prior segment, and you're talking about grand bargains and big deals, and everybody wants this. I mean, I think all of us would aspire to that if we could just fix it all right now. But as you say, Washington doesn't have a really good track record at doing that, right? So let's get back into the business of trying to win together, right? If we can put some wins on the board, if we can take care of a workforce training program, if we can do the Medicare A and B parts, let's go and start making progress together, because I bet you people in D.C. would begin to say, you know, this feels pretty good. We're helping the people that put us here. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and we could really do some great things. And we just need the White House to come forward to sit down with us. I mean, you know, Speaker Boehner has been to the White House. We tried to talk and resolve the fiscal cliff deal, and the things went awry. Let's go back together and start to work on these things. We can't be always, as you say, posturing, got to raise taxes, got to go and spend more money. Let's find areas where we can agree on.
Working together comes from trust on both sides. Who do you trust on the other side?
Well, listen, I don't want to impugn anybody.
No, but is there somebody that you look across and you say, I can work with this person?
Well, I'll tell you, one person that I have worked with over the last couple of years has been Vice President Joe Biden. You know, I was put in a situation with him when the Speaker asked me to participate in what was called the Biden Talks. And for nearly 7 weeks, several times a week, we met. We actually see each other now outside the official meetings. Somebody I can rely on for true information. Obviously, we differ on a lot of things, but again, demonstrates if you have sensitivities and understand how far you can go, you can probably get some things.
Eric, we've seen better jobs numbers, and you know, maybe there's a hope that maybe GDP this year could be better than in the last 4 or 5 years. And I wonder, is this could be evidence of a lot of things. It could be evidence that the uncertainty that Republicans have talked about, that Obamacare, that regulations, that maybe those weren't as deleterious to job creation as we thought. Maybe it really was a hangover from the financial crisis that was holding us back. Or, then again, I think you look at the way the Fed has, how accommodative the Fed has been and keeping rates at zero. That certainly has a lot to do with the slow progress that we've made so far. And then I think it's not guaranteed this year that we do 3%. And it's not guaranteed that unemployment continues to come down. We're getting worried about another swoon. You know who's going to get the sequester? Now, if it doesn't work, if it's true that all this uncertainty has been an issue and Obamacare is holding things back, you're going to get blamed because it's going to be the sequester that's causing it. That's what the president's going to say, that things were going well. Now the sequester is biting. It's not my fault. I mean, everybody's got a demagogue position to attribute to, and meanwhile we're stuck with a lot of people that can't get work, and it's not the way it's supposed to work.
That's exactly right, and I think that the growth prospects are still too little. They're still too uncertain. I mean, you know, you also have been talking on this show this morning about what's going on abroad. I mean, Europe is not in good shape. You know, unfortunately, you know, although with a lot of the problems that we have, we still look to many investors and many folks looking to allocate capital like the place that at least is the best of the worst, right?
That's still us.
But we got to play to win here, right? We can't just sit on the fact that we're America and we are always going to be the best. No, we got to go compete, which is why we are always talking about creating the conditions for investment, making it so that people with capital say, hey, it is a good time to take a risk. And so that's why we are focusing, you know, Dave Camp on the Ways and Means Committee is really working hard at trying to facilitate tax reform. But, you know, the problem is the president continues to say, no, we just got to raise more taxes. Right. And given the way you score things in Washington, every time you want more static revenue, it's hard to bring rates down and compete.
Right. I don't know. I think about the private enterprise is it's not about money. It's about morality and freedom, and that should be what you guys. That should be what you stand. If you're looking for something to stand for, you got Arthur Brooks. Read those books. That's what you need to stand.
It's about earning success.
Not saying no to all this other stuff.
It's
right?
about we are putting forward things every week.
It should be about the economy, stupid.
Right.
And I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling myself stupid. Anyway, great to have you here.